Hag signs a new deal at Manchester United, or does he? It's not quite as it seems. We'll go into details of that. We did an earlier show with the news that came out at the back end of that show, which was an extra one. There was some extra information about the structure of the deal and what's actually happening. We're getting into that. It looks like it's business as usual. It looks like Manchester United are looking to do a cut price deal for a few players to get them off the books to fund finances for other players. One of them being our famous old friend, Mr Rabiot himself, is back on the agenda again. Apparently United have offered him a deal. So let's see what's happening. Let's see what's going on with the news today. We've got updates on Danny van der Beek as well, but I want to get your thoughts first of all on everything going on. I'm going to go over everything that's happened with Ten Hag first, and then we'll get into the chat with everything else that's going on with Manchester United, because what's happened with Ten Hag and what's going on with that contract does have a big implication on the transfers going forward with Manchester United now in this summer as well. Who is in charge? Well, it does seem to be the man himself, Mr Erik Ten Hag. So let's get into everything that's going on, what's been said and where we're up to. Make sure you get your chats in, give the video a like, and please do subscribe to Forever United TV, everybody. We are back in our normal slot, 12 o'clock, here we go. And yeah, there's an awful lot to get through. Let's make a start with everything that's going on with Erik Ten Hag's contract. I said at the end of the earlier show, the breaking news one regarding the contract being signed. This is now not a new contract. It's exactly what it was before. So Ten Hag, according to Rob Dawson and a few other people have jumped onto it now, is on the same deal. Manchester United have triggered the existing plus 1 year option on Erik Ten Hag's contract rather than negotiating altogether fresh terms. Ten Hag keeps his title and his transfer veto. Title being manager, not head coach, which Sir Jim Ratcliffe alluded to. Also, the veto, very, very important for Ten Hag. He was basically spoken with Ineos. He told him what his side is. He's been very strong. He's a strong personality. We know this. He stood up for himself in these negotiations. It looks very clear that that's been the case. And he's not really negotiated a new contract. He's just stood his ground and said, look, if you're offering me a new 2 year, then why not? Let's just do this 1 year extension. Let's see. I think Ten Hag has put himself on trial with Ineos. And you know what? That's quite ballsy. That's quite ballsy of Ten Hag to do that. He's backed himself here. So I haven't really got an issue with that. Ten Hag's putting his money where his mouth is as such. And he's saying, look, let's just say I want control over transfers. I want my veto. So he does have a big say. So as it works, originally, you have the club, you have the players' representation, and you have the manager. All three of them have to agree on a transfer to make it happen, and a contract extension and whatnot. This is what happened with David De Gea and why everyone went in on Ten Hag on that one, because De Gea's representatives signed off on it, and so did the football club. Ten Hag didn't. We didn't sign David De Gea to a new extension. He left the football club. New terms were agreed, and he was happy to sign it, but Ten Hag said no. He then went out and spent the money on Andre Onana. So that is Ten Hag. So if you needed an example of how Ten Hag's power is, what he says, and how much control he's got over players coming in and out of the football club, that was clear last season, and that is still the same in this contract that has been signed now. So what happens with Ineos behind the scenes, how much they have got control of, and then does it all matter if Ten Hag comes out and says, no, I don't like that player? There has to be a serious amount of dialect now with all the players that are in place at Manchester United. The new structure, everything that's going on there. Who has the power of saying what players are scouted, what type of players are scouted? I think Ineos will speak with Ten Hag on that side of things. It's then a group of players brought together, and Ineos and their work could all be undone by Ten Hag just saying, no, I don't like that player. That's basically what could happen. I'm not saying that is going to happen. I'm saying that's worst case scenario probably. So really, when Erik Ten Hag says there is unity between all parties, him, his people, Ineos and everything like that, it means that he's happy that he's still got control over transfers, because he does. So you could say that's a bad thing, but really, I want to flip it a little bit and say, look, that's actually Ten Hag backing himself and saying, Well, actually, we are all looking at what I've done. We're all looking to progress on the pitch. And obviously, I've said that I am the right man. So let's just look at it this way. If we are going to go forward this season, these transfers have been vetoed by me, then I am backing myself going forward, and this will prove that I am the right man. Because this time next year, we're going to be in exactly the same position again, looking at Ten Hag with one more year left on his contract. So what's happening there? Are we just going to give him this year and see exactly what this is all about? Remember the conversations we had, and everyone was saying, let's just give him 1 year. Let's give him 1 year and let's just see. If it's not better, then we get rid of him. And we was like, no, we need to negotiate a new contract. I was saying he needs a new contract. He does. Well, Ten Hag now seems happy with 2 years of his contract. That's enough for him. And he's going forward now on the same details that he had in his previous 2 years. That's enough for him. For me, like I said, I think it's him backing himself, and it also gives Ineos the chance to actually step up and go, well, we don't like what's happening right now. You've got more control than we would like. We give you the chance with this control, and it's not worked. So let's renegotiate again, or let's just say goodbye and everyone walks their separate ways. I think it's just set it up for a very, very interesting season, and one that will define the future of Ten Hag and Ineos going forward at Manchester United. What it does do, it gives Ineos time to really settle in to their structure and find their feet at Manchester United, while Ten Hag is still playing out this 1 year in front of him on his old contract. Tom Porter has donated a membership. That's gone to DJ Gavin76. Thank you, Tom. And Gavin, welcome to the Members Club, my friend. Tom, you legend. Keep your comments coming in, guys. We're going to be getting into them quite quickly as well. We've got a lot more stuff to get through on the show. It has been a pretty jam-packed morning for everyone involved at Manchester United. I feel like next we are going to get the announcements for, obviously, Rennie Hack and Ruud van Nistelrooy. And then that's it. That is officially it. The only other announcements we will know about past this is the ones of players coming into Manchester United. I think Chris Wheeler made a great point earlier on as well. It makes sense, the announcement coming now. Obviously, all pre-season starts on the 8th, so next Monday, all the players are back at Carrington. We know that for definite. So no uncertainty going in. The players coming into Carrington know that even in their underperforming season last season, the manager hasn't gone like it has happened before. So the players will be coming back to what they will, they'll be coming back to a completely different Manchester United. And it will be very clear to them that things are going to change. Ten Hag is still in charge. And now it seems like he has the backing, even on his old contract, of Ineos and their full structure. So how it works off the pitch between Ten Hag and them is one thing, but the bit that we all want to know and how he's going to move forward is the relationship between Ten Hag and the players. And the players now knowing that they are not going to get away with anything anymore. So at least we can judge Ten Hag for what he is this season. We can say that Ineos have backed him, have gone into the market and done the negotiating for him on these deals to get him in at the right price. And Ten Hag, I think, is why he's putting in his comments this unity of everything regarding him and Ineos as like all as one, all on the same page. It's a mad one, yes. I didn't expect it. I was announcing that there's a new 2-year contract. I even said at the start of that video earlier on that this is a new 2 year. It's very interesting how it's just 2 years and it's going to end up finishing in 2026. Then the other news came out regarding this being his old contract and it's just an extension. And I thought, it makes sense, but it doesn't. But we know where Ineos are going with this. For me, I feel like this is them just trialling Ten Hag for this one last season. And then we're back to the negotiating table again next summer. If he does well, then does that give Ten Hag the power in transfers and him a little bit more, let's just say, bargaining chips when it comes to that new contract, just to say, look, these are the players I wanted. I've proved to you this season by getting United back in the top 4 again that I'm the man going forward, and you have to then look at me and agree to some of my terms in this new contract. You cannot rip up a contract that's already there, and Ten Hag has played on that, and I think his people have played a blinder. And that 1 year extension, I mean, he's got what he wants for 2 years. So if he goes out and wins another trophy next season, maybe gets United in the top 4, then going into negotiations next summer, change the whole landscape again. And he isn't, instead of going through a season review where we're looking at Manchester United's worst ever Premier League season like it was this summer, we're going into a pre-season where there's no international tournaments, everything can be done at its own pace, and Ten Hag can go in and say, look, 3 trophies in a row, we're back in the Champions League, let's talk. He has backed himself to do it, and I love that gamble about him. That's good. I like that. He's, like I said at the start, he's put his money where his mouth is. And Ineos have got their side of it as well. The unity, I feel, in this and what Ten Hag was saying, is that Ineos can judge Ten Hag after this season, having had the full season in charge, their first full season, and can properly prepare themselves for the summer ahead instead of the craziness that this summer has been. And Ten Hag has said, look, judge me after this season. If it doesn't work, then it's easy for Ineos. If it does work, it's easy for Ten Hag, and it's a bit of a headache for Ineos and how they approach that next season. But I think that's where we're at with it, and ultimately that 1 year triggered extension of his original deal is quite significant for both sides of the argument, really. And coming to your comments now, Tom Porter, happy Independence Day, 4th of July, everybody. Thank you, Tom. Legend. Well said, mate. Adam Sonna, you need to stop going around in circles with this contract nonsense. What is the circle, Alan? Please add context instead of just shouting out a silly comment. There's no circles about it. Ten Hag has signed nothing. He's agreed to his 1 year extension of his original contract. What circle is there to be going on about, mates? Please, context, instead of just one-line comments. Tell me what you think, really. Let's see what else we got. Usually the manager chooses the director of football, I think. Yeah, that wasn't the case this time. But in terms of the comments that Dan Ashworth has come out with earlier on as well, guys, you've seen them. Dan Ashworth backing Ten Hag, saying he's proved with winning 2 trophies in the last 2 years that he is one of the top managers in European football. Consistent performing managers, in his words, they were. So he's got the backing of Dan Ashworth. I mean, look, Wilcox is in. He's spoken with Ten Hag. He's through the door. It now looks like Dan Ashworth is all raring to go. Obviously, we've got Michael Vivel as well. He's in position. So it's a good start. Let's see how this relationship builds now going through into the season and through the rest of this pre-season, because I think this is where the communications between the big protagonists like Dan Ashworth, Berardo, Wilcox, Vivel and Ten Hag, and that group of people all together work. This is where it comes to the fore. Like the pre-season is when they will be talking a lot more. Obviously, there will be a lot of communications in season as well when the season kicks off, but we are going to be seeing who really is in charge, I feel, come the end of next season now. I think this is all nice. Everyone's first meeting. Let's just get together and just get the best out of this. I think when everyone gets there, feels comfortable and has their feet well and truly under the table, then we'll start to know. But I think it's now going to be next summer when we find out who really is pulling the strings at Manchester United. Right now, we're on a bit of a mad scramble for the next 2 months to try and get Manchester United's squad in order, get rid of the players that need getting rid of, and then we can move on from there. So, yeah, that's where we're at with that. Let's get some more of your comments on the Ten Hag situation, guys. Let's just see. Short extensions is not a longer term commitment, says Niall. I said, yep, like Ineos have given themselves room with this one here. Is it backing? Some people would look at this and say it's not backing the manager, but Ten Hag seems to be really happy with this. So you've got to say if he's happy with it, then he's going into the season full bore, like fully committed, and hopefully he can get more out of the team than he did last season. What else have we got in here? Nice. With your mic, Alan. Alan, if you haven't got anything that... I asked you for context, mate, not just slagging someone else off. Seriously. Yeah, sorry, it's Christopher Vivel, not Michael Ashid. Thank you very much, mates. Yeah, sorry about that. Rabiot is bigger a baby than Marcus. Right, we need to get into the Rabiot communication. Not many of you have got much to say on Erik Ten Hag, it would seem. Quite surprising, actually, guys. But hey, we move on and we go on with, what's the name? The news that Manchester United have offered Adrian Rabiot a 3-year contract. This comes from the same source that was telling us originally, the Juventus communications officer that told us about Xerxes and gave us great detail on this. So this does have legs in a way. Whether or not anything comes of it, what the contract is and that was offered to Rabiot is one thing. But again, this now looks like with Ten Hag being in full control, he's happy to bring in an older player. Because it doesn't fit the model of Ineos, does it? Does this then show you that Ten Hag has got power in the transfer window? If United are offering contracts to Rabiot, then Ten Hag does have legs, and he does have a dog in the fight, doesn't he, when it comes to negotiating? So yes, Rabiot is completely free agent. He became a free agent on the 1st of July, and can now negotiate with any other club in the world. So Manchester United have put their offer apparently on the table for Rabiot, and it's under consideration. The other players that are in play are also, I think it was Real Madrid. I think AC Milan approached him as well. Easy option there for him just to move across. But yeah, you've got to look at Rabiot as a Ten Hag signing, I feel. He's not afraid to bring in the likes of Christian Eriksen on a free. He's not afraid to bring in Casemiro at his age, obviously. We got in about Weghorst. He's not bothered about player age. And with 1 year to prove what his worth is, maybe you need a finished article in there, an experienced midfielder, as well as the so-called profiler player that Ineos are looking at, because Rabiot doesn't fit the mould when it comes to what Ineos are actually looking for. So I think this does show that Ten Hag has definitely got a little bit of power still within negotiations. Ineos probably would have spoken with Ten Hag and said, look, it's fine as a free agent. It's not costing the club any money. It's a 3-year maximum contract, which I think is right. And this is how much we can pay him. This is how much we're willing to pay him. Now, you all know, and I've seen a few of your comments come in the comment section there regarding Rabiot's agent, who we all know is his mum. Bless her. She probably will say no to it, but the fact that we're actually offering a contract to Rabiot tells you exactly where we're at right now. We need to secure signings that we know we can definitely get over the line, because we are short on numbers. Drastically short on numbers. And there's plenty of players coming back to Carrington on Monday, and you just go through the list of players that are due back. It's quite scary, problematic scary, in terms of the players and who they are, going off what happened last season. And I only have to read off the issues of Jadon Sancho and Mason Greenwood. Added to that, Marcus Rashford. Then you've got Casemiro on top of that as well. 4 massive senior players, all under the spotlight for different reasons. And that has to be dealt with. It has to be dealt with very quickly. And I feel like right now, Manchester United are in a little bit of a tough spot, because, like we said last night, we haven't got anyone booked in for medicals yet. We've got the awkwardness of the Euros and the Copa America. And by all accounts, everyone is banking on all of these deals that we're communicating with and speaking to people about. They're all going to be dealt with after these international tournaments are finished, or the player, in fact, has dropped out of the tournament. So we're kind of hoping that Holland do get eliminated by Turkey this weekend, so we can get down to business and finalising the deals for Xerxes and Matheus de Ligt. Obviously, then you've got the likes of Uruguay with Agate. Hopefully their competition ends for our sake at weekend against Brazil in their quarter-final. And everything else, like, we need to get rid of players and we need to bring players in. Ten Hag needs to start working. We are not far away from our first friendly game of pre-season, and I can see the likes of Rabiot being that type of player that, you know, cheap, contract made. As soon as the Euros are finished, he's just going to walk into Carrington, and we've got one definite signing made there. Like, I can't see Rabiot having any issue with signing a contract while he's on tour over there in Germany with the French squad. I just don't see it. Hopefully we get Rabiot. Good way to rebuild the squad for cheap and quality. All depends on his wages, Ryan, I think. Football, Red Devils, it seems to be a little of compromise with both parties takes the pressure off, easier to part if things are not going well. But if things go well, more confidence for Ten Hag to have a better contract. Exactly what I said. Bonnie Davis says, I think it's fair to give him 2-year contracts. We can rotate with Mainu until we get Neves. We need to get someone to rotate with Mainu. We can't destroy the kid like Pedri and Gavi. I think it will be a great deal of difficulty trying to sell Antony, who's going to pay a decent transfer fee. Who's going to pay a decent transfer fee for him? I have no idea who would pay anything at all for Antony. Absolutely no idea at all. I'm going to get through some of your comments on this section as well before we move on. There is other news coming out for United today. Like I said, it's mental today. Absolutely mental. We have just hit the 100 like mark, guys, as well. Thank you. Please, everybody, do keep liking the video. It's been one of them crazy organising days, so appreciation levels are here from me, for you guys liking the video and the work that we're putting in. I'm back out later filming at Old Trafford as well. I'm teaming up with Saeed later, so we have more content coming out. I'll keep you all posted on that as well. Oh, that's going to be an interesting convo later on with our mate Saeed, isn't it? Because he's definitely not a Ten Hag lover. So yeah, it'll be very, very interesting to see what his parts are on that. Let me just see what else we've got going on here quickly before we move on with more of your comments. There's loads of stuff coming out with United that I'm going to get through very shortly with you. I want to give you guys your chance to have your say on this, though, so keep them comments coming in, please, everyone. Also, now that Ten Hag as a manager has been sorted, Ten Hag will not want to sell Antony. I don't know. He fell out with him. Apparently, Ten Hag gave him a right dressing down last season. Remember we were talking about that story, Andrew? And not impressed with him not wanting to put a shift in for the team as such and actually drop down. So I feel like Ten Hag having the power, he's going to go into that Carrington training ground on Monday feeling like a weight has been lifted, but like he's like reborn as Manchester United manager. It's like failed. He can point the finger now and he can get the support from the hierarchy where he didn't have it before. Well, he did, but it wasn't really significant support from the likes of Murto and Arnold. Right now, it's all about the football. Ten Hag has been moaning for this. He's been right in moaning for this. We don't look after the players enough. We don't concentrate on the football side of things enough. Even Van Gaal said this about United. It's all about the commercial. Well, right now, this is all anyone is talking about is the football side of things at Manchester United. And Ten Hag can go into Carrington on Monday and just go and start pointing the finger and saying, look, if you're not on board with this, if you're not willing to do this, then you are not going to be playing. Good luck finding another club. It's going to be quite... Where I see difficulties in pre-season for him, I also see positives and him actually gaining a lot more trust from some of the so-called crap players, or headache players, not crap players, headache players. So, yeah, I feel like the backing of Ten Hag from Ineos is only going to work against the players. They do need to fall in line a little bit more now. As long as Ineos can stay sane with wages and transfer fees, Erik Ten Hag's veto power can be manipulated a lot. Yeah, like decisions but let's not forget, like, Ten Hag does ever say, like, Ineos could bring a player forward that looks great, and Ten Hag doesn't like him. And then Ten Hag says, no, that player doesn't come in. That's the problem we've got. So you would hope that they would get together and actually really concentrate on making sure the targets that we're going for, everyone wants, and we're not wasting our time in scouts going out working for Ineos and all the recruitment side for Ten Hag to then just say, I don't like that player, I don't want him in. Ten Hag will be in the meeting, we like this player, let's bring them all together, see which one fits, and we're all happy and on the same page that we're negotiating for A, B, C or D, and this is the price for each one, this is how high we're willing to go, so everybody's clear. And then when it doesn't come off and that player doesn't accept, Ten Hag's not going to be upset. He's been made aware of the situation. He's been aware of the process. And we go past it. That's what we need to look at. We go to the next guy. Hopefully, first choice targets are in. I don't think Rabiot's a first choice target though. That's what we're saying. Rabiot is a decent player. We can't just expect Mainu to play all the games. No, we can't, Leo. We definitely can't, mate. Rabiot is alright, I would say. And for free, he does add vast experience and know-how and quality to that midfield. I don't see it happening. Would rather have Amrabat rather have Amrabat over Rabiot. How old is Rabiot? I think Rabiot's coming up to 29 now, is there? Something like that. With players like Rabiot, Ineos can just make offers that they know will be declined. That way, they can soon whittle down the effects of his veto power. Yeah, I think it would be interesting to see what was actually offered to Rabiot on that 3-year contract. Very interesting to see. But yeah, moving on, Manchester United obviously needing to move players on. They want deals done and out of the way before July 8th. It's going to be very difficult because we're on Friday tomorrow and then it is the weekend and then we're back to training. But Mason Greenwood now, Lazio have come in with a new offer for Mason Greenwood as well, apparently. And that offer is better than the original, which was 20 million. But in this, Manchester United are closer to accepting it because by all accounts and reports, Manchester United now have dropped the valuation for Mason Greenwood just to get this deal over the line. It is then thought that Marseille have come in with a bid over of what Lazio's have offered. So interesting actual movement for Mason Greenwood right now. He doesn't want to come back to Carrington. He wants this deal done. I would not be surprised if we heard something in the next couple of days on Mason Greenwood. He's one player that nobody wants back at Carrington. The manager has had his say. I think it's been made clear by Ineos as well that Mason Greenwood will be sold. So really the manager doesn't have that much of a say on the Greenwood situation. He said he would like him as a player, but it's just a full-on complication factor. So we expect to see some news come out about Mason Greenwood very, very soon. Sancho is his other big issue. There is no update on Jadon Sancho right now. I'm sure we will get one. What he does with Sancho when he comes back to Carrington, I don't know. It's going to be one of them really awkward situations where Jadon Sancho could come straight back to isolation again and be training with the under-21s or whoever. He will not be training with Ten Hag in the first team. So, when you look at that, actually, that is a really awkward scenario for everyone involved. Like Sancho coming back off the back of what was a decent end to his season with Dortmund, straight back into the melting pot, which is Ten Hag gate. Like, what are the options? What are the odds that Jadon Sancho comes in and actually sits down with Ten Hag? I'm not ruling that out. Like, we're not hearing anything on Jadon Sancho or any possible movement. If Jadon Sancho comes back to Carrington, he's had 6 months away from the club, and he gets the message when he's there at Carrington, Ten Hag has called you to his office. Are you willing to go and speak to the manager? If Jadon Sancho says yes, I think we see Jadon Sancho back in a United shirt again. I'm not counting out Jadon Sancho and Erik Ten Hag sorting this out. Weird things happen after a time away, and then a new meeting, fresh start, everything put aside possibly by both player and manager. There's still a chance that Jadon Sancho might actually be a Manchester United player next season. I know all of the noises and everyone's saying, look, he doesn't want to be there. He's had enough. There's no way he's going to apologise to Ten Hag. You don't know how Ten Hag is going to approach this. Yeah, he may approach it differently, and there may be reconciliation between the two players. Greenwood, definitely not. That's gone by the by. It's not happening, and he's never coming back to Manchester United. I think that's been made very, very clear. And hopefully, between Marseille and Lazio, we can see a deal. Apparently, Jadon Sancho is open to going to Lazio. Greenwood, sorry. He's open to going to Lazio. He's also open to moving to Marseille. So if we get a tiny little bit of a bidding war going on, then I think we can be quite confident that Mason Greenwood will be out of the door very, very soon, which is all good for United with what we're needing to do in the transfer window right now. But United have had to drop their price and valuation for Mason Greenwood in the circumstances and the need to actually get things moving forward this summer. That's where that situation is at right now. Did you guys hear that one of the Glazers are buying another football club called Angel FC? Yet they were denied that as well, Dill, apparently. He will not play for us again, says Yosra, sorry. You just don't know, dear. You don't know. Sancho sits and plays FIFA on PS5 and still gets paid. Yes, he does, unfortunately. Getting in the chat. We could sell Bruno if the right offer came along. I would love to see him gone. That money would speed up the rebuild. Bruno is far from the issue right now, Gehan. And he's no way near leaving Manchester United. If he's not sold this transfer window, in fact, Manchester United would open new negotiations for a new contract for Bruno Fernandes. That's the word coming out of the football club. And that's where we're at with Bruno Fernandes. I just don't think we're in a position to sell him this summer. I don't think we've got enough players lined up to replace him. And if anyone's going to go this summer that you don't expect, it will be Marcus Rashford, if anything. Ten Hag now being the manager and having this power still, is his captain. He's not going to sell his captain. I think you have to look at that as well. That's the reality. Andrew, he does need to apologise to himself. He's gash, says Tommy. No one's rating Jadon Sancho. Sancho should play FIFA, grow up. I wonder if Sancho scores in PS5. Be interesting to see. Let's see now what else we've got. Absolutely not. Remember when who went to the media first? It was Ten Hag. If Ten Hag didn't do the interview, Sancho wouldn't have tweeted. Ten Hag started it, therefore he should apologise. Never going to happen, Darryl. Never in a million years going to happen. Jadon Sancho walked off the training ground after Ten Hag asked him to do something in front of everyone. So straight away, the manager's power over the playing squad. He's been scrutinised. He literally, I think, has just used his power to put Jadon Sancho in a spot. Like, he cannot be seen to be shouted down by a player on a training ground. I mean, this is what happened with Jadon Sancho at Manchester City with Pep as well, by all accounts. We've seen many reports and many people coming out about what it was like there and why Pep got rid of him. So it looks like it's not left him, unfortunately, and it looks like it has ended his time in the Premier League. I don't see anyone buying him in England. There were rumours about Arsenal being interested. I've not seen anything significant on that, and I don't see that going anywhere having any legs. And you've got enough cover. That's the thing. Like, Ten Hag has got enough players there already that he would play before Jadon Sancho. And how long before he gets fed up again because he's not being played? Because he hasn't been that good. That's what you got to remember. Was Jadon Sancho good enough in the first place? Get Jadon Sancho back to Old Trafford because he is the best forward Manchester United had, says Quiz Time. I think there'll be a few that disagree with that one, mate. But, hey, everyone's got their opinions, haven't they? I just don't think Ten Hag will bring him back, Quiz Time, honestly. I don't. Keep liking the video, guys. We're almost at the 150 mark. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Make sure you hit that subscribe button as well. Sancho has a terrible attitude. He has not learned anything. No, he's not. One player that I don't think has got a bad attitude, but just doesn't have the quality, is our man, Mr. Donny van der Beek. The reports earlier on today came out that United will not let him go for free. They will want a fee. God knows what that is going to be, though. Like, Donny van der Beek, like, seriously, he's the forgotten man. The absolute forgotten man at Manchester United. And he just needs to be let go. He does. How are he also going to get anything for him? I don't know. He just doesn't play. If you give, you're lucky to scrape 5 million together for Donny van der Beek. He just needs to go. He just needs to go somewhere. Go back to Ajax or whatever. Just get what you can for him. If it's just a couple of million, then take it and move on. Let's just end that chapter, which has been destined for disaster from the get-go, let's be honest. Absolutely It's been an absolute nightmare for him. I do feel sorry for him, but at the end of the day, if you're not good enough, you're not bleeding good enough. It's as simple as that. What's happened with Rabiot to Manchester United? No, apparently Manchester United, if anyone has just tuned in, have offered Rabiot a 3-year contract, according to reports. Then reports came from the same guy that brought us the Xerxes news originally, from the guy over there, the communications officer at Juventus. So obviously with Rabiot being at Juventus, that's why we would take that news as something real and not just made up. So yes. Donny and Ronaldo combo against Watford was class. We lost that game 4-1, by the way. So let's... I know what you mean. He came on and just threw himself about for a bit. I would sell Donny for a packet of crisps, says Leo. Sancho $350 a week. I think it's $250 actually, but that's been dropped because of the not being in the Champions League. Yeah. That's it. It's a shame about Donny. You're right, Adam. Not good enough. Simple. A player we didn't need to buy at the time. Again, another issue that Dan Ashworth is going to have to get his teeth into and deal with. Because that's the old Manchester United. The old ways in which United operated that he has to figure out. Let's just get through some more of the news as well. Ten Hag... there's more quotes coming out from the Ten Hag. I'm just going to read through. Kees Vos, SEG, Ten Hag's management, basic agents, have come out and said it's been quite a roller coaster ride since Ten Hag joined Manchester United more than 2 years ago, but I'm proud to have been part of it. Today we can announce that we will continue to be part of it. Erik Ten Hag will stay in the red parts of town for 2 more years. It was and is a pleasure working with all people involved. From past to present, SEG is proud to have assisted both Erik and the new Manchester United football leadership team in making this extension possible. I am very much looking forward to visiting Old Trafford again. That come from Kees Vos. Ten Hag on his agency and his management team. I would like to thank my management team, SEG, who have supported me in every way on this journey. Kees Palonsma and Kees Vos have stood by me both personally and professionally. They have been pivotal in many ways, particularly in getting all parties aligned to continue this project together. I'm happy to be part of the SEG family. Well, there you go. Ten Hag talking about his management company, SEG, them doing likewise as well. Everybody seems happy with what is going on at Manchester United right now. And everybody seems to be quite comfortable in the way that Manchester United are going forward. So, yeah, everybody, that means that we've got to be happy as well. Like, we're all as one. Fans, everybody... we're all looking forward to a new season, hopefully a new era at Manchester United where things do improve on the pitch, because it wasn't good enough last season. As much as has been made about the FA Cup and winning trophies, we all know deep down that it was crap. And United cannot finish 8th in the league. That is a no-go for Manchester United. So let's just look at everything for what it is. Let's look at what Ten Hag needs to improve on. He's owned up to that himself. Ineos know what they need to do. We seem to have a cohesive unit moving forward. And according to the words and what's been spoken, then we have to take it for that. We have to take it that everybody's on the same page, and we have a lot to look forward to next season, it would seem. Yes, apparently England are going to make radical changes for the game against Switzerland. Yeah, I'll believe it when I see it. Honestly, with Gareth Southgate. Guys, please give the video a like. We are moving up. We're way past the 150 mark. Thank you, everybody, for being involved. Loved all your chats on this. Bit of a manic morning leading into the lunchtime show, guys. Yeah, we had the extra content with the breaking news of Ten Hag announcing his triggered 1-year extension on his current contract. We've had all the news regarding transfers, what's moving forward. I just want to say a massive thank you to you all again. That is it for this lunchtime show. Back at 6:30 later on this evening, guys, with all of the updates. Maybe we'll hear more news regarding Ruud van Nistelrooy and Rennie Hack now. I think that's what everyone is waiting for to happen next. And I feel like that is probably what we're going to hear next. But then that's it. All we're waiting for then is the international tournaments to finish and announcements on players. Hopefully, that is what we're going to be hearing anyway. But yes, guys, legends, every single one of you, please give the video a like, subscribe to Forever United TV if you haven't already. Love that. Thanks for all of your comments, mods, and members, and everybody, the usual crew, for your input into the show as well. And I'll see everybody later on this evening. Have a fantastic rest of the day, guys. And yeah, let's see what else happens today, because there's been a lot already.